This is Matchday Live with NordVPN, back to league action and back to the West Midlands for the team after a dramatic cup win in Birmingham last weekend. It's Villa Park today. All the build-up on the way with Don Matteo and Michael Bridges ahead of full match commentary. It's Aston Villa versus Leeds United. It's live on LUTV. Right then, a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. We all love one of those. First time Aston Villa have had one in, was it what you were saying this, Bridgie? 367 days since Aston Villa have had one. Anyway, we're looking forward to this one. All the action heading your way. Don Matteo and Michael Bridges in the studio. Dom, how are you today? All good?
Very good, thanks yourself.
Good, very good. I got a taxi in today. Taxi driver was asking me, because he saw I'd put into the Uber, I was going to Elland Road. He said, what are you doing? I explained what we're doing. A couple of former players. He said, who have you got in the studio? I was very excited. I said, Don Matteo's in the studio. He said, oh, Don Matteo, San Siro, love Don Matteo. He was very, very excited. I told him Michael Bridges was in the studio. He gave me nothing, Bridgie.
Yes.
He gave me nothing. I said, this is a Premier League striker for Leeds United and star of the official Leeds United podcast.
Yes, the official, which is coming back. That's a good plug. Yeah, it was fantastic because what we've got to do, myself, Stuart Dallas, Emma Jones, we had the pleasure of being joined for the first episode by Ethan Ampadu, the captain. Fantastic player on and off the field. So look forward to that one when it's coming out later next week.
Yeah, all good. Listen, we've got a massive game today. It was FA Cup. Well, it's a distraction when you don't win, but when you do, it's all good, isn't it? So through to the next round as well. And now back to this huge game today against a team who are really punching very heavily so far in the Premier League. Dom, this is no easy task.
No, it's a difficult game. They've got a lot of quality, like you say, right throughout the squad. The manager's one of the best, isn't he, out there? You've seen the results he's been getting, the way he manages the teams is brilliant. But again, it's another test for us to go and prove what we can do. And away from home, we know we've not been perfect. But like you say, last time we've been picking up lots of points. And that's fine against these good sides. But maybe at some point we need to get that win away from home.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get it today, Bridgie.
Yeah, it would be. It kicks off, but I mean, you're going to Villa Park, like you said, it's not easy. 5 draws in the last 6 away games. I think, the lads would have gained a lot of confidence from that comeback against Chelsea. Yeah. And like you say, with Aston Villa, I watched them early on this season. I was really surprised how bad they were doing in the league because they looked so structured under Unai Emery. But going forward, it was a different matter. They weren't creating a lot of chances. Matty Cash scored against Sunderland. It's kick-started their season. And like you say, to go there, you've got to make sure that you are 100% on your guard and that everybody's ready to play their part and be up for this one to come away with a result.
Yeah, they had that incredible run. Was it 11 wins in a row or something like that earlier in the build-up to December? The form since the turn of the year hasn't been quite as strong. In fact, if you look at the form, the last 5 games, Leeds have actually picked up more points than Villa, which you wouldn't have necessarily thought, but just goes to show what good nick we're in as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at the table, I feel like we should be further up, but that's how tight it is in the Premier League. But yeah, listen, I think again today, there's the manager up, we can just see the manager there. What a great job he's done. And again, he'll be thinking to himself, let's get something today again, keep the momentum going forward. That's what we need. It's all about momentum at this part of the season. I think we're in such a good place. I won't fear playing Villa today, but obviously you've got to make sure you can't have any mistakes against a good side like that because they have got threats. In the final third, so you just got to make sure and be thorough in our defensive work tonight.
Yeah, 3 changes for Leeds from that game at Chelsea, and 3 really big players coming back into the team. Bridget, Pascal Struijk is back, Anton Stack is back, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the line, our top scorer this season. Not only 3 players, but in crucial positions down that spine of a team, which is always important, isn't it?
You just stole my lines.
So sorry.
Thank you for that.
Sorry.
Yeah, down the spine, like you say, Pascal, you know what you get from him. I think he gives us great balance as well on the left-hand side. He's got the left foot, play through the lines, set plays, gets on the end of things. Would love to see him find the back of the net. And like you say, playing in front of him, Stack, his set-piece deliveries, no doubt about it's going to make an impact. His energy levels. And the man up top with double figures, Calvert-Lewin, absolutely love him. So he's going to be a handful, and he's going to cause problems for Mings and Konza. It's just how many times are we going to be able to support him at the top end of the field? And let's hope that this man here, Darlow in goal, has a quiet afternoon. He doesn't have to face many chances.
Yeah, just looking at the the Leeds midfield area, Stack, Ampadu and Gruev, I think he's picked a team that's very well balanced players, but obviously I think Stack's the one that's probably going to have to get forward at times, so we can get possession of the ball as well. And like you say, he's got great distribution, and like you say, when you've got Dominic, hit it into him, and Brendan just run off it. So yeah, great game, looking forward to actually. Yeah,
it's probably worth running through the team actually if you haven't seen it. Carl Darlow is back in goal after Lucas Perry, of course, with his heroics. We'll look at that shortly. Last weekend down in Birmingham, a back three of James Justin, who just continues to impress, doesn't he, guys? Joe Rodon and Pascal Strike, who's back in the team. Fullbacks Jaden Bogle and Gabby Goodmanson, and then Stack, Ampadu and Gruev, who you've mentioned, and then Brendan Aronson in support of Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. So whether that's a 5-4-1, whether it's a 5-3-2, a 5-3-1-1 with sort of Brendan Aronson in support of Dominic. Bridgie, how do you see it?
It'll be two different systems with and without the ball. And what I like about it, it's versatile. We've got the problem of trying to work out where the lads are going to play, what system is Daniel Farke. The opposition have also got that issue. They'll be in there going, well, they could do this, they could do that. There'll be moments, but I think, and there's no doubt about it, Aston Villa, their ball retention is very, very good. They keep the ball, the two centre-halves are happy to drive it out. So there's the moment when we're going to go and press, and it'll start from Calvert-Lewin up top. Everybody will follow. You can't go as individuals, but many players behind the ball as possible. And I think that's why it'll be a 5-4-1 defensively.
Brendan Aronson there, we know the trouble he's been causing defences this season, but just behind there, you've already picked him out, but I want to mention him again because Daniel Farke was full of praise this week for Anton Stack and the work that he does for the team. You've already picked him out as being key today. He really has impressed, and in a big fixture like this, he could be pretty pivotal.
He's a real character as well, which I like, and like I said, talked about his distribution as well. He works his socks off, and that's the one ethos I see at our team at the moment, is the work rate from everyone, and he's key for that. And this battle today, Ampadu, Stack and Gruev, if they put a shift in and do their job properly, it'll allow Bogle and Goodmanson to get forward at the right moments. They can't both bomb forward. That's the one thing we've got to be careful today, that both fullbacks can't be bombing up forward against a good Villa side who can hit you on the break. So I think it's a great system. Hopefully we can execute the performance as well. But I think Brendan as well, I'll give him another mention. He's had so much criticism, and when I've been at the lounges, we mentioned this before, he works his socks off more than anyone.
Stats are through the roof.
Yeah, and it's always good to come back to someone who needs. The way he's playing, for me, he's just. It's like a free roll from him, isn't it? Go out and do your work and find them little corridors so you can pass the ball into Dominic. I just think I'm so pleased that he's getting the credit he deserves for the work he puts in, and that's as an ex-player looking at him thinking he works his socks off for this team, and he deserves the credit he's getting.
Yeah, a bit of a shame for Noah Okafor, who misses out with a hamstring strain towards the end of that cup game as well. Again, a player just playing himself into some nice form as well, starting to get on the score sheet, and then you have those moments. But the bench is really strong as well, Bridgie, and that just goes to show the kind of squad that they've assembled here.
Yeah, I think that's when I look across the board now at the teams that are in that bottom half of the table, and some of them in the top half, dealing with injuries is one of the hardest things to do. And I think the way we've maintained and managed the players this season, and when you look at the bench, we've got impact players, we've got good players waiting to come on, but it's about that competition for places, the hunger. I don't see players coming on with a negative attitude. Everybody's coming on to make sure they're making it so hard for Daniel Farke to drop them in the next game if they get an opportunity to take the spots of the players that are in there. So it's healthy competition, and long may that continue, because you need that confidence level, you need that culture to drive to keep you in this division.
Yeah, okay, big game in store. We can't wait. We'll catch up with our commentary team for you very shortly. But first, let's just get the view from inside the camp ahead of today's match. Here are the thoughts of Brendan Aronson.
Well, Brendan, you've had a look. What is it looking like out there?
I mean, first of all, it's looking beautiful, which is always good. And yeah, it's just a great day to play football, so we're going to be up for it.
This looks like as hard an assignment as you could get at the moment in the Premier League, given their position in the table.
Yeah, of course, but these are the games that you have to look forward to. You're at a great stadium, of course, a really tough opponent who's been playing great this season, but, these are the games where you go out there and just do the best you can and, let yourself be free and play the game that you want to play.
Yeah, so what is the game plan in these circumstances? Keep tight or go for it?
I think it's a little bit of both. Of course, you don't want to let the game get too open. Of course, you're away from home. I mean, they're a really good team, of course. So I think it's kind of right in the middle of a happy medium. Of course, you want to go out, get after the game. You don't want them to have too much possession. So I think, we're going to play like the way that we've been playing away from home.
Good luck.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, and Bryn alongside Tony DeRigo will bring you all the commentary from 3 o'clock today. Brendan Aronson, like you were mentioning, Dom, a player who's loving his football at the moment. It's interesting how he's talking in terms of this game. You've got to stay in a game like this, don't you? We saw it in Newcastle. They really went for it at the start of the game. At Chelsea, it didn't happen at all, and they were 2-0 down. But what Leeds have done really well is they've stayed in those games. They've stuck around and things have happened.
We've got much better at that, and we've always talked about it when we're in lounges or you're doing the TV here. We've talked about staying in games, and when you're 1 down, 2, still stay in. If it goes to 3, you're struggling. So it's like, I think we've got so much better at that, more disciplined at the right moments. And I think discipline's key, especially when you're away from home. So today, you've got to get forward at the right moments. But the way the defensive structure is for us at the moment, it just looks like we're a threat as well, which we have to be away from home. And that's one thing I want to see today, is I want to see balls coming in to Dominic that he can actually get hold of and bring Brendan into the game, because that's where I think we'll get joy today, because Brendan picks up them little pockets around people that, as a defender, you don't want to be there. So I think he's so important today, and with the form he's in, if he can thread them balls into Dom, I think we might get a bit of joy.
Yeah, big week in store as well, not just the match today, but of course the big Leeds United members versus legends quiz going on later this week. Bridgie, you're not down there on the night, are you, Bridgie?
No, Tony, I wonder why. I didn't have an IQ good enough to get in this team, so wow. I'll accept that.
To be fair, he's right.
Who are the geniuses that are joining you here, Don? This is on Wednesday night, a members versus legend pub quiz. I think there's a few tickets running. Stuart Dallas is going to be there. What's he like on his general knowledge and Leeds knowledge?
Well, he should be good, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. He's the youngest in the team, isn't he? I think
he's going to answer all the questions that are like in the Gen Z or Y, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And then you got Mel Sirlin at the other end of the spectrum. Well, he's got a lot of history.
Nigel will be all right.
Nigel will be nice.
Just very quickly, I'm going to go through the players that are going to be there, just by facial expression, whether they're going to be any good on your team. Tony DeRigo.
Yes.
Stu Dallas. Nigel Martin?
Yes.
Noel Whelan?
No. Actually, no, tell that. Noel will be good. He knows stuff. Yeah, Noel.
Simon Grayson?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ben Parker's there?
Yes.
Johnny Howson?
Yeah.
And you, Dom?
Well,
there you go.
I'm a
I wanted to make sure he had something to do on Wednesday night.
Are you there? I'm not.
No.
Wow.
Save it for after, lads.
Just look at the numbers, Bridgie.
Save it for afterwards. A few tickets remaining if you want to head to the Leeds United website. We'd love to see you down there at the new Hisense Lounge, which is fantastic in the stadium over there. Boys, behave. Here's a question for you. What are you doing on May the 16th? FA Cup final?
Yeah,
I'm hopefully there.
Fancy it?
Yeah.
Leeds, of course, were in Birmingham last week, and a really good result. That's one of those get the job done type results, isn't it? That's the brief. Hopefully no injuries. Well, there's one with no Rockefeller, but get it done. Norwich in the next round as well. But Bridgie, how impressed were you with the way that they, in a game that wasn't easy, a lot of players coming in who've had less minutes, makes it tricky. Birmingham, to their credit, we said this on the show as well, played really well, especially first half. How impressed were you with Leeds to get it done?
I think it was a typical FA Cup tie when a Premier League team's coming up against a Championship team that were wanting to really make it difficult. An opportunity for other players on the outer to get an opportunity to show Daniel Farke what they're about. I've got to say, though, I think you would have been disappointed with the performance initially. Yeah. But there were some players like Ethan Ampadu. I mean, he's a captain, he's a leader for a reason. He came on, he changed the game.
He did.
And, to get back through to the next tie, it's never tough. Birmingham have shown what they can do under the new guidance and management. They're doing well. So it was basically a no-win situation where they had everything to gain Birmingham, and we got through it and got into the next round. And Daniel Farke will be delighted with the draw against his old club.
And by the way, but you are well overdue a kind of cup run. It's been a while. Even when I was playing, when we got to the quarters.
I mean, this one from Paddy Roberts. I mean, the deflection. Once it's hit the deflection, Perry's got no chance.
By the way, Perry was on form, wasn't he?
He did. He made some good saves.
Well. Yeah, it was quite nice as well that the three players who missed in the penalty shootout earlier in the season at Sheffield Wednesday, they all scored. I don't know whether it's like if you miss a penalty, you just want to put that to bed, don't you, and then go on and put it behind you, because there might be, who knows, more of these to come later in the season, depending on how this cup run goes, Bridgie.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, the more competitions you're in, the more confidence, the more players that are on the outer that are getting games, in game time is beneficial, because we're going to need all the numbers going into the Premier League season, all the numbers going in for this cup run, and it would be nice if, obviously Premier League is paramount, but this is always special moments in the FA Cup.
So it's Sunday, March the 8th. We know now a 4:30 kick-off here at Elland Road, and it's Norwich, a team that we've played plenty over the last few years, obviously, in the Championship. And the manager knows very well. That's, of course, all these ties have a storyline, don't they? Yeah. You know, this is no disrespect to Norwich, but when the draw came out, you think home tie against a team in the league below is about as much as you can ask for, with a chance to be in the quarters if you win that.
Yeah, I think so. And we've seen he's not picked a weak side, has he, the manager? I think he's an opportunity for us to get further in this competition. With the draw against Norwich, it's not a bad side, not a great side, mid-table, I think, something like that. But they're one of those teams that can surprise you. They have got a couple of decent players, quick players down the side. So it's never an easy game, because when you're favourites to go out, you've got to make sure you perform and do that. And I think we'll do that, especially at home.
I'd rather have the home tie than the away against Norwich, no doubt about it.
For sure.
And just very quickly before we move on from that, in terms of Perry in goal, who came back in, and you mentioned the save he made, he couldn't do anything with the goal, but also to have that moment, and we saw all the players flood over towards him to give him the credit at the end of that match, kind of shows a real sign of a squad togetherness, and knowing probably what that meant for him to have a really important moment this season.
Yeah, and to be fair to himself, whenever Carl Dahl was coming and taking his spot, there was a big moment when Carl kept the first clean sheet of the season in front of everybody ran to Carl along with Perry. So it's nice to see, like I say, that healthy culture. There's not that arrogance and egotism to say this position is mine, I'm not going to help you out. There was a togetherness there, and it was nice to see Perry get that return to him.
Yeah, well, we are closing in on kick-off today. Less than 15 minutes to go in a huge game and a big opportunity for Leeds United down at Villa Park. Let's catch up with our commentary team, who'll be bringing you all the action from kick-off. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Okay, so weather update to start with. The good news is it's not raining, which is unusual at the moment, isn't it?
It certainly is, but the conditions look fantastic. I mean, the pitch looks in tremendous condition. They say no rain, no wind either. And when you're talking about conditions to play a game of football, these are perfect.
So talk team news. What are the headlines there?
What's really important is, clearly there's plenty of changes, 6 from the FA Cup tie, but Anton Stack and Pascal Strauch are back in after their injury. So that is really important. I think Anton Stack's been tremendous, certainly in that midfield area. He'll give a lovely energy and balance to that midfield. And Pascal, just again, he's, I think, vital from set pieces, and the way that he's played, he's got better and better as the season progressed. So to have them both back is important.
And James Justin keeping his place in that back line as well, but he's justified that, hasn't he?
He has. Jacobillo will be a little disappointed, that's no doubt, but I think it's important that when someone comes in, does well, you know, they stay in, and rightly so. James Justin has been superb. Wherever he has played, you know, he's excelled, and so he keeps his spot.
I mean, they're going to have to be pretty resolute, resilient today, aren't they? Because this has a look of being an extremely difficult game.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of Aston Villa as well, and I think, you know, they've got some ability. Certainly trying to keep the likes of Morgan Rogers and Buendia quiet in between the lines is going to be important. I think you can have 1 or 2 opportunities, but you need to take them. They've got some pretty good defenders. Concert at the back is very good, and of course you get past all of them, you end up against Emi Martinez, who's a fantastic goalkeeper. So we'll have to be concentrated, we'll have to really take it to them, but we're not without a chance, absolutely not. I think we can do something, but we have to be very mindful.
Leeds have been strong on the road recently, lots of draws. If they could push it on beyond that, that would be extremely good, would it not?
Yes, it would be wonderful. I think you're coming towards the end of the season, it's getting it really important. It's getting close to thinking, well, 2-3 wins, and that might be enough to keep us up. So the quicker you get them, the better it is. But as we said, it's a tough place. We think like that. The players, we think, right, there's just one game today. What's the best we can do in this game? Perform at the highest level and see if we can take a point, or could we take all 3? That'd be great.
That would indeed be rather great if Leeds could win here at Villa Park this afternoon.
Brilliant, Tony, as always, bringing you all the action. What, Chelsea away, followed by Villa away. It's the Tony DeRigo testimonial tour, roadshow, whatever you want to call it, going rounds. He's been at a few clubs, hasn't he? So they'll be, I'm sure, very welcomed there. The players getting themselves readied and warmed up for what is going to be a tough task today. Aston Villa, I mean, they really have eyes set on. I mean, they're not that far off the top of the table, are they, if we're being honest with it? They've got a good buffer down to 4th place, and a win today with Arsenal having had a mini mini wobble at the moment, that they can start putting some pressure on. Could they go and really challenge Bridgie, or are they going to be a sort of top 4 team?
I think it's a top 4 for them. Yeah, Champions League. I think it's between Arsenal and Man City at the top. But you know, when I look at them, the defensive record is what's got Villa up there. You know, they're among the league's best with fewest goals conceded, lowest amount of headers in goals conceded this season as well. They're a set play threat. Their fullbacks, there's a name on the team sheet I'm delighted is not there actually. It's Dean, the left back. They've got Matty Cash on the other side. Both them fullbacks are a real threat. Thankfully, one of them is not there today. But they're in there for a reason. So they're defensively so strong. They're hard to score against. The actual XG, or the amount of chances created, is a very low factor as well. But what they are, they're clinical. When they get the chances, they tend to take them. So we've got to make sure, like Dom said earlier, it's all about staying in the game as long as possible, nullifying their chances, not gifting them anything, and taking ours, because I think we can hurt them with long throw chaos, transition moments when we win the ball back with the pace of Stack and Aronson supporting Dom.
Yeah, I think defensively they've got some quality, they've got some pace, they've got some clever players, so we've got to make sure, again, defensively, no mistakes, nice and tight, give our lads an opportunity to do their stuff when they get on the ball. But I just think they are a good side, Villa. The manager is so good at what he does. We spoke about him earlier, but I just think he sets his team up so well, and if it's going wrong, he changes it very quickly as well. So I think today it's about make sure we don't concede early and stay in the game, like we said. But if we do, I think we've got a group of lads now who can do that as well. They can stay in them games.
With their form at home, you know, it's been good, but just recently there's been a couple of defeats that maybe, you know, were out of character. We know what the stadium's like down there. It's a great stadium, great atmosphere. It's a bit like, you know, we've got here at Elland Road, you know, proper bit of that. When it gets going, it's loud, it's bouncing.
I never enjoyed going actually as a player.
Right, interesting. Just because you knew they could get on top of you a little bit.
And I was up against Southgate and Eckihog. It was always going to be tough.
Not that easy. I guess the question I'm asking is, you know, if Leeds, given they've had this sort of mini kind of downturn in home form, if Leeds can just start this game well, might be a few nerves, few edgy fans in there, you know, as Leeds can get themselves into this game.
So because, you know, Leeds have been doing really well, in my opinion. Obviously the points show that as well. But I just think that we are becoming a hard team to play against. You know, we were an easy touch at some points over the last couple of years. We're not anymore. The lads have really stepped up, and you've got to give the manager credit, and I keep saying it, you know, he's doing such a great job. And the players are buying into what he's doing. You can see it. There's a lot of energy around the players, a lot of energy around the manager now as well. So hopefully today it's another good performance, solid performance, and professional performance. That's what you need against a top side. You've got to make sure everything's in line today. I'm sure it will be. And it's a great opportunity again. It's a great game as well, and a chance for us to go and get something. I really believe that.
You mentioned the manager. Let's hear from him then. Daniel Farke, who of course been chatting to the media ahead of this match and is under no illusions this is going to be a tough top flight test for the team.
It's first of all important to make sure that they don't shine too much in the offense, because they have lots of quality, individual quality, top players. They play really good processes. We need to find our tools also, like to reduce them to as little as possible. And on the other hand, you also don't expect a game when you can create chance after chance anyhow. So we have to be pretty effective in using our situations and to be precise in the final pass, to be brutal and relentless also in our finishing situations. And if you have a game where you are effective, then you can also get a result. But if you analyze also their recent results, they don't want the opponent to score many goals, very often clean sheet, sometimes one goal. And so for that, you have to reduce them to very, very little in order to get a result. So we need to be very effective in both boxes. Yes, big boost. Same like to have also Pascal Sturridge right now back, and also Daniel James, hopefully also for longer term right now also back as an option. But Anton, was fantastic and played a crucial role for us. He perfectly embodies more or less a balance out of being a physical player and a player who can stand up to the intensity and the physical necessities in this league, but also good on the ball, tactically spot on, top character, also good technique, also good in set pieces. So it's very impressive, because even for top players, normally they need a bit time to adapt to the Premier League. So, but Anton is more or less shining really from the first day in preseason, and this is quite rare I would say, and says a lot about his character and also about his quality. And yeah, we're happy to have him back after his little injury, and hopefully he stays fit right now and can also show performances like he's shown more or less throughout the whole season.
Well, we are closing in on kick-off here. I think the one thing we haven't mentioned really is, just briefly, is the table at the moment. You know, Leeds up to 15th. And if you look at all those teams around us, Bridgie, you know, Palace on 32, 2 points ahead. They got Wolves at home tomorrow. Fans aren't happy. The manager hasn't been particularly happy.
Got me Wolves jersey ready.
Yeah. You look at Brighton in 14th, the point ahead. They're playing Brentford. Form is awful.
They haven't won in 13 matches. They've been in free fall. Yeah. So that's the team that when I've seen them dropping down, I'm thinking, poof, they're in the mix as well. So when you look at the form guide, Rich, of the teams that are above us, we are looking to get as high up as possible. They're the two that we're chasing.
Even the ones below us, you know, Tottenham on 29, they've got Arsenal tomorrow. Change of manager, we know. Forest, change of manager, they're on 27. They play Liverpool. West Ham, we've got Bournemouth. You look at all those teams around us and there's an element of turmoil. You look at us and it's quite calm.
The one thing we have in comparison to all them other teams, stability. Crystal Palace have been depleted with players, and the manager is obviously, we don't know what that situation is. Forest have gone through a transition of managers that we saw when we got relegated out of the league, when we went through, when we lost Jesse Marsh, we went to Javi Gracia, we went to Sam Allardyce. It creates carnage inside the dressing room and the atmosphere. We have stability and this harmony, which is getting us the results. And you look at all the chaos around us, let it continue.
So I guess the question is, having put ourselves in a great position, which is what we've done, which we always talked about, is can we drag other teams into it? The question now is today, well, we can leapfrog a couple maybe, Dom?
Yeah, hopefully. Like you say, it just depends how we perform, isn't it? It always goes back to performance. But yeah, I think there's a great opportunity. I wouldn't fear any team, to be honest. As a player, you've got to go and enjoy it. A big stadium like this, I'd be buzzing to be playing today. Absolutely.
The only one we have feared is Arsenal.
Yes,
shown us on 2 occasions. This is completely different.
Not worry about them.
Anyone else when the FA Cup draw coming out? Okay, not Arsenal. Right, we can see the players are lining up in the tunnel in the black kit today as well. We haven't seen that much of this season, but they're looking smart, looking ready to go. Bridge, you're going to come to you. How do you see this game panning out? Some big players back in for Leeds, which is great to see. On pretty good form. Can we get a point? Can we go and get 3 points today? What's going to happen?
You know me, I'm normally very reserved, and I normally say, get a good away point. I'm going to go 2-1 away win. I really fancy us. And you've got the black gear on as well. You've got the black and white top on.
You got the memo.
You got the memo, we didn't. I'm hoping that's a good omen, mate. So 2-1 away win.
Dom, what about you?
Yeah, very similar to Bridgie. I think, like you said, we've got the players that can do it. But yeah, if we got a draw, I think it'd be a good result as well. But yeah, let's try and get the win if we can. Well,
the players are ready. We're very much ready, and I'm sure our commentary team are as well. So let's head over to Villa Park ahead of a huge game. 3 o'clock on a Saturday. We love it. It's Leeds United taking on Aston Villa. Your commentary team, Bryn Law and Tony DeRico.
Saturday, 3 p.m. It'll never catch on as a kick-off time, surely. But here we are. And for Aston Villa fans, believe it or not, this is the first time in over a year that they've been gathered together in this stadium for a fixture at this particular time on this particular day. Such is the way the schedule works these days. Added complications for them, of course, by